There have been celebrities and actors who have died recently. Join us to take a look at the news and pay tribute to them. Please click on the channel subscription button to update daily news. MARGOLIS, 1939 to 2023, actor in Breaking Bad. MARGOLIS was an actor in film and television for nearly 50 years, with roles in such popular hits as Breaking Bad, Better Call Saul, Scarface, and Ace Ventura, Pet Detective. Died August 3, 2023. Died at Mount Sinai Hospital in New York City at the age of 83. MARGOLIS's legacy. Born in Philadelphia, Margolis moved to New York City as a teen to pursue acting, studying under luminaries like Stella Adler, Lee Strasberg, and Barbara Loden. Margolis initially began his career on stage, but after a few bit roles, he was cast as Albert the Shadow in Brian De Palma's 1983 gangster classic, Scarface, a small but memorable role that arguably launched his career. Margolis would go on to have supporting roles in dozens of films and television shows, including Glory, The Thomas Crown Affair, Requiem for a Dream, Ace Ventura, Pet Detective, Black Swan, and many others. On TV, he appeared in Star Trek, The Next Generation, Law Order, The Equalizer, and more. His most notable role came when he was cast as Hector Salamanca in Breaking Bad. His compelling portrayal of the formidable Don overseeing a drug organization cemented Margolis as one of the best-known TV villains of the time. After his character was rendered unable to speak, Margolis further captivated audiences without uttering a word of dialogue, communicating by using a tiny bell. He would reprise the role for the prequel series, Better Call Saul. His work as Salamanca earned him an Emmy nomination in 2012 and made him a pop culture icon. William Friedkin, 1935 to 2023, award-winning director of The Exorcist. William Friedkin was an award-winning director and screenwriter who was best known for The Exorcist and The French Connection. Died August 7, 2023. Died in Bel Air, California, of heart failure and pneumonia at the age of 87. William Friedkin's legacy. Born to Jewish immigrants from Ukraine, Friedkin's love of cinema grew out of repeated viewings of films like Psycho and Citizen Kane. After high school, he began directing live television and documentaries. His 1962 film The People vs. Paul Crump won an award at the San Francisco International Film Festival. A few minor works followed, including an episode of Alfred Hitchcock Presents and his film debut, Good Times, starring Sonny and Cher. Friedkin rose to prominence in 1971 with the release of The French Connection, adapted from the Robin Moore novel of the same name. Starring Gene Hackman, the film was a huge success. It received raves at the box office, garnered 8 Academy Award nominations, and won 5, including Best Picture and Best Director. His next film, The Exorcist, became the first horror movie ever nominated for Best Picture and earned 9 other Oscar nominations. As a cultural phenomenon, the film spawned numerous sequels, all of which Friedkin disavowed. Friedkin worked consistently through the ensuing decades, adding such films as Sorcerer, To Live and Die in L.A., and Rules of Engagement to his legacy. He even directed an episode of CSI, Crime Scene Investigation, which reunited him with To Live and Die in L.A. star William Peterson. His final film, The Kane Mutiny Court Martial, was completed and scheduled for release in September 2023. John Gosling, 1948 to 2023, keyboardist for The Kinks. John Gosling was a keyboardist with the British rock group The Kinks throughout the 1970s, and he would later form the spin-off band The Cast-Off Kinks. Died August 4, 2023. Died at the age of 75. John Gosling's legacy. The Kinks were already a major success when Gosling joined the band in 1970. Their songs like All Day and All of the Night, You Really Got Me, and Tired of Waiting for You were already worldwide chart successes. Gosling auditioned by playing on the demo session for Lola, the song that proved to be the band's biggest hit. His style helped pave the way for what some critics called their theatrical era, a time when their albums were ambitious, narrative affairs. Gosling left the band in 1978, replaced by Gordon Edwards. He went on to form the Cast-Off Kinks in 1994, alongside fellow former members Mick Avery, Jim Rodford, and John Dalton. They performed and played together until 2008, continuing to play the hits fans loved. Upon leaving the band, Gosling retired from music. Charles Ogletree, 1952 to 2023, President Obama's Harvard Law mentor. Charles Ogletree was an attorney and Harvard Law professor who served as a mentor to the Obamas and represented clients such as Anita Hill and Tupac Shakur, as well as advocating for victims of the 1921 Tulsa Race Massacre. Died, August 4, 2023. Died in Odenton, Maryland, of Alzheimer's disease at the age of 70. Charles Ogletree's legacy. Born in Merced, California, to farm workers, Ogletree earned a political science degree from Stanford University before going on to Harvard Law School, where he earned his law degree and became president of the Black American Law Students Association. After graduation, he joined the District of Columbia Public Defender Service and ascended to the position of deputy director. During the course of his career, he represented such high-profile clients as Anita Hill and Tupac Shakur. In 1985, Ogletree returned to Harvard to become a law professor and vice dean for clinical programs. There, he taught both Barack and Michelle Obama, who would go on to become President and First Lady of the United States. He also penned and contributed to several notable works during this period, including Beyond the Rodney King Story, an investigation of police conduct in minority communities, Brown at 50, The Unfinished Legacy, and From Lynch Mobs to the Killing State, Race and the Death Penalty in America. Ogletree also fought for reparations for victims of the 1921 Tulsa Race Massacre and made dozens of television appearances on major news programs, including Nightline, This Week with David Brinkley, Crossfire, and Meet the Press. At the age of 60, his wife began to notice health issues, and by 62, he was diagnosed with Alzheimer's disease. During his career, Ogletree was honored with an array of awards, including the National Conference on Black Lawyers People's Lawyer of the Year Award, the Man of Vision Award, the Albert Sachs Paul A. Freund Award for Teaching Excellence, the Ellis Island Medal of Honor, and many others. General James J. Lindsay, 1932 to 2023, Special Operations Command Leader. James J. Lindsay was a retired four-star general in the United States Army who served as Special Operations Command, SOCOM's first leader and helped found the Airborne and Special Operations Museum. Died, August 5, 2023. Died in Vass, North Carolina, at the age of 90. James J. Lindsay's legacy. Lindsay's military career spanned nearly 4 decades of service in the U.S. Army. Running short of money while attending the University of Wisconsin, he enlisted in 1952 to take advantage of the GI Bill. He received a master's degree in foreign affairs from George Washington University, but opted to stay in the military, where he steadily moved up through the ranks. Lindsay served with the 82nd Airborne Division and 77th Special Forces Group, among others. When he attained the rank of general, he was given command of the 82nd Airborne. In 1988, President Ronald Reagan named him the first commander of SOCOM. Over the course of his career, he earned 4 Bronze Stars, 4 Silver Stars, 2 Distinguished Service Medals, and the Distinguished Service Cross. After his retirement in 1990, Lindsay served as a consultant to the U.S. Army's Battle Command Training Program, BCTP, for nearly 20 years. He also founded the Airborne and Special Operations Museum Foundation and helped create the Airborne and Special Operations Museum in downtown Fayetteville, North Carolina, which opened in 2000. In 2018, he became the city's first Hometown Hero Award winner. LENY Andrade, 1943 to 2023, known as the First Lady of Brazilian Jazz, LENY Andrade was a singer and musician whose incredible blend of bossa nova and jazz vocal improvisations garnered her the nickname First Lady of Brazilian Jazz. Died, July 24, 2023. Died in Rio de Janeiro of Lewy body dementia at the age of 80. LENY Andrade's legacy. Born Leny de Andrade Lima in Rio de Janeiro, she initially studied classic piano and won a scholarship to the Brazilian Conservatory of Music based on the strength of her talent. However, in 1958, the sound of bossa nova grabbed Andrade's attention, and she switched her focus from classical to popular music. Andrade borrowed improvised vocalizations from jazz. Called scat, and forged her own style that blended jazz and bossa nova. Through the 1960s and 1970s, she toured Mexico and Latin America, building a reputation as an energetic performer. In 1983, she made her United States debut at the Blue Note in New York City, one of the most legendary stages in jazz history. However, it took another decade for Andrade to receive wider recognition for her work. In 1991, a widely praised run at the Ballroom in Manhattan launched her into stardom, winning accolades from the likes of Liza Minnelli, Tony Bennett, and Peter Allen. Andrade's rich voice drew comparisons to such icons as Ella Fitzgerald and Sarah Vaughan and led many to dub her the First Lady of Brazilian jazz. She toured worldwide and released dozens of albums between 1961 and 2019, her last being Alma Mia. In 2007, she shared a win at the Latin Grammy Awards with Cesar Camargo Mariano. Sharon Farrell, 1940 to 2023, actress on The Young and the Restless. Sharon Farrell was an actress best known for her roles in the films It's Alive, Can't Buy Me Love, The Stuntman, and Marlowe, as well as her 7-year run as Florence Webster on The Young and the Restless. Died, May 15, 2023. Died of natural causes in Orange County, California. At the age of 82, Sharon Farrell's legacy. Born in Sioux City, Iowa, Farrell prepared for the stage from a young age, studying ballet and theater in high school before going on tour with the American Ballet Theatre Company. She made her screen debut in 1959 at 18, enjoying a series of small roles in shows like Alfred Hitchcock Presents, My Favorite Martian, and Gunsmoke throughout the 60s. With the films Marlowe and The Reivers, both released in 1969, she earned wider recognition, acting alongside stars like James Garner, Carol O'Connor, and Steve McQueen. Her career almost ended in 1970, however, when she suffered an embolism while giving birth, causing brain damage. McQueen suggested she keep her illness a secret, and she privately worked to regain her memory and mobility. She continued to garner recognition with the 1974 Larry Cohen horror film, It's Alive, and won praise for her work in 1980's The Stuntman. In the 1980s, she also appeared in Night of the Comet, Lone Wolf McQuade, and Can't Buy Me Love, where she played Cindy Mancini's mom. On television, Farrell appeared in dozens of shows, including 12 episodes of Saints and Sinners, 14 episodes of Hawaii Five-0, and most notably, a 7-year run on The Young and the Restless as Florence Webster.